Welcome to Subramani. It is not the first time that I'm addressing young investors and asking them to invest, but I'm trying to do a series of steps, or rather the first initial steps that are needed to be an investor. So let's say you're 20 years of age or 22 years of age, you've just started earning and you can invest rupees 500 a month or 1000 rupees a month, whatever be the number. Maybe in after 2-3 episodes I'll tell you why even a small number is important, because it's at the beginning of your career. You're 20 or 22, assuming for a minute that you're 22 and you've started investing. The 500 invested at 22 is far more powerful than 500 invested at 45 or at 55, right? This money has got the ability to become super money by that time, simply because of the power of compounding that we will see a little later. But initially, yes, you have started and you have been inundated by ads saying this app is good and that app is good, and of course there are very many apps through which you can invest, which means everything can happen online. You don't need to physically go somewhere. But opening a brokerage account is not absolutely necessary to start investing. That is one thing which I wanted to tell you, because all the apps try to make it it is necessary that you need to have a brokerage account, only then you can invest. Not true. That is true only if you want to invest in direct equity. To invest in mutual funds, there are various ways. So let me pick the simplest way, is to physically go to the branch of a mutual fund, not a bank branch, not an insurance company. Go to a mutual fund. So when I say Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund, it is easy for you to understand what it is, because they don't have any bank or insurance company or anything like that. So same thing for, say, I could have said that for L&T, but L&T is now becoming part of HSBC, so that's not really true. But yeah, Mirai does not have any other operations in India. Nippon does not have any other financial operations in India. When I say go to, say, ICICI Mutual Fund, the problem is many people say, oh, I already have an account with ICICI Bank. You don't need an account with ICICI Bank to invest with ICICI Mutual Fund. Similarly, you don't need to go to HDFC Bank to invest in HDFC Mutual Fund. So there are two things you can do. One, you decide to start that you want to invest in direct equity. You are sure your friends will tell you, and etc., how the whole thing can be managed. So you are confident that you know what to buy, when to buy, or you believe that there is somebody who is going to help you to invest, and therefore you go and open a brokerage account. If you are dependent on the relationship manager of the brokerage account, chances are you will get your whole investment will get very messy. So be very careful, ultra careful, because last few years of bull run has made many experts. Even on YouTube, you will find many people teaching you technical, saying how it is moving within this range, and therefore you should buy when it goes down, you should sell when it goes up, within the, all those kind of theories, which look very, very simple to see, read, understand, and believe me, very difficult to implement. I am not dissuading you, I am not discouraging you, but I am just telling you, be very careful. A simpler way, suppose you come from a house with modest means, your parents are not very educated, or they're reasonably educated but they're very scared, they come from that part of India which is very scared of equities, then maybe direct equity is not the best bet for you. Maybe you should invest in mutual funds. Now there are two things you can do. You can sit with your parents physically in one location and do the whole account opening online. That is perfectly possible. You need to be equipped with all your PAN card, Aadhaar card. The photo will be clicked by your phone. So if you have a decently good net connection, and you have your laptop, you have your phones, this can happen. However, if you are not very comfortable doing it online, you can go to any mutual fund. Just pick a mutual fund. There are 42 in all. So just pick up a mutual fund. Let's say you pick up UTI, and UTI, Birla, Nippon have offices in lot more locations than the others. So you could pick up one of them. Let's say you picked up UTI. Then you go to UTI with your parents. Now please understand what I am trying to say. Suppose you are a young girl who is 22 years of age and who wants to invest. Can you do the whole thing online? Yes, of course you can do the whole thing online. Suppose you are in Bangalore and you wish to invest, you can do it online, you don't need to go. But suppose you are in a smaller location where you are not very sure about the internet connection, but your parents are with you, I would think take your mother or your father or whomever you are going to make the second holder along with you. The other person is not required, but at least two of you go to, let's say if you have picked up your UTI mutual fund, go with your PAN card, go with your Aadhaar card, go with some other proof of residence, go with your checkbook, go with one photograph, right? Go and open your account. You don't have an agent with you, so the form has to be filled as a direct. Or if you have an agent whom you think will be useful for you in guidance as to where to invest, etc., use that agent. If you are using an agent, chances are you may not have to go physically. I am talking only about those locations where you are not confident of doing it physically, that you have to do this whole process. And you will need one check for the first transaction. So go and start your SIP. You don't know where to invest? Again, very simple, go and invest in an index fund. Now this is the best way to start your investment journey. You should be the first holder because it's your money. You have to get, suppose you are going to get a tax break tomorrow for investing, you will need all those things. So you should be the first holder. Your mother should be the second holder. You are now either or survivor, and your father should be the nominee. There's a good chance that the person at the counter will tell you, oh, it's either or survivor, there are two of you, so you don't need a nominee. Don't accept that argument. You should have a nominee. You don't know what can happen to two of you, right? So I would never have said this pre-COVID, but COVID has made sure that I'm insisting that there should be nominee. I would insist, in fact, maybe there should be even two nominees. It doesn't really matter. I've invested a lot of people's money. I've seen a lot of people investing money where I make the parent the first holder, the mother the second holder, the first son the third holder, and the second son the nominee, right? So involve everybody so that if something were to happen to one or even two people, the others can rally around and make sure that the money comes to the right place. Right? So this you could do and start your investment journey. Of course, you can do it online. It is not very difficult, but this process, I said, is for people who have never invested before, who are not very confident of using phone banking, etc. Then this is a good way to do. But otherwise, you can do the whole process online through any mutual fund and start your SIP journey with an index fund. In this case, I am saying is UTI index fund. You start. Afterwards, you will learn how to invest, what to buy, why a large cap, why mid cap, why balance advantage fund, which is best, why, what is ELSS, because suddenly you're 23, 24, you're employed, and on 14th of December, you get a call saying you have exactly 3 days in which to make your investment. If you don't invest 1.5 lakhs, we will cut income tax. Then don't go scurrying around saying, oh my God, what to do? Should I buy NSE? Should I open PPF account? Yes, of course, you should do all that. But at least if you have opened your mutual fund account, you can just go and online put 1.5 lakhs in some ELSS scheme. Any ELSS scheme. Like I said, you opened your account with UTI, and after that you think you want to do your investment of ELSS in, say, Invesco. You can do it online because your KYC is already done. Because the first time when you went and did your KYC, your mother's KYC, your father's KYC, everything got done. That's why you went with all of them. You got everything done, and now you can invest their money, your money, everything, as long as you have online banking, etc. You don't need any app. But there is no harm in opening through an app, but please understand labels while you are using an app. Understand to read labels. There is nothing called free, because you will find a lot of things are free and some things are chargeable. They also have to make money. Understand that if there is an intermediary involved, that intermediary will have to make money. In case you went directly, you took your mother, you took your father and went directly to UTI, there was no intermediary, so there is no intermediation cost. But if you go through an app, or if you go through an agent, or you go through a bank, there will be intermediation costs. right? uh, at this age, when you're so young, you're just 23, 24, 22, you don't need any person to tell you how to invest in an index fund. So maybe you don't need an investment advisor. Maybe you're 27, 28, and then you realize that, okay, you got too many 4 SIPs running, you have a term insurance, with a return of premium. That's not a very sensible thing to do. So you got a little in a tangle as to how many things you have, and then you realize that some help is needed. Then you go to an advisor, maybe a fee only advisor, but then if it's very expensive, you might as well not go. You might as well go to an agent and sit with the agent and see what that agent can do for you. Largely agents, or MFDs as they are called, mutual fund distributors, are not supposed to give you advice, but you can discuss with them as to what you have done, etc. Or you go to an RIA, or even best, the best is of course to learn on your own. By that time you are smart enough to decide whether you should have an app, you should not have an app, whether you should use the banking facilities, right? So banks will also tell you, oh, here it is and this is free. It is not free. If it comes from a bank, it is not free. If it is, please understand, when I say invest through direct broker, to direct, and you don't need a broker, I don't mean ICICI Direct. I mean direct as in when you walk into a mutual fund office. The only way you can get a mutual fund at just the cost which the fund house is charging you is by going to the mutual fund website or their physical office. Anybody else is either charging you now or will charge you later, or is leaving some fees somewhere, because people have to earn money. It cannot happen that they are doing it free for you, right? So if there is a aggregator app, if they're doing all that for you, they're saying, okay, also come and file your income tax return with us. Okay, if all this is happening, it doesn't mean that people are giving you anything free. Be very careful. If you don't know who is paying the bill, you are paying the bill, right? It is as simple as that. Thank you.